Hello, everybody, and welcome to my room. So today I want to talk about the big Beatle news. Everybody else is talking about it. I wanted to kind of let the whole thing marinate for a while and come up with my own thoughts. And there's a couple of things to address here. Personally, I'm excited for the release of what is obviously going to be Now and Then, the third song that Paul, George, and Ringo were working on during the anthology. They did Free as a Bird, they did Real Love, and they were going to do Now and Then. According to Paul, in this documentary that's out there on Jeff Lynne, the producer and also founder and songwriter of Electric Light Orchestra, George eventually got put off by it and said, "Fucking hell, this song, it's horrible, isn't it?" And Paul was like, "No, George, it's fucking John Lennon. It doesn't matter, it's still horrible, Paul." But I don't know how much work they did on it. But obviously they are cleaning up John's demo and putting the finishing touches on the recording. Now let's get to what has now been addressed by Sean Lennon, John's younger son, and now Paul, who has come out and made a statement about it as well. All of the articles out of there, just bad, horrible reporting in this clickbait world we live in. They're going to be using AI for John's vocals. AI. Is this right? Using AI to recreate John. That's the way these articles were written, and that's how I see some of these videos. I have a lot of theories of AI and where we are now. Personally, I think AI is great when it's totally fucked up and messed up, like these AI animated videos of Will Smith eating spaghetti, and the AI can't get the chewing right, and just how random bits of spaghetti start appearing everywhere, or Jack Black eating peaches. I'm not going to cut into the video right now, but go ahead and look them up. But there is on YouTube a version of Paul McCartney's New, his song New from the album New, where Paul is singing. They were able to make his voice sound a bit younger, and John does the chorus. For a second there, I was moved by it, but I was like, that's too good. That's too good. I'm not a fan of that shit. However, when AI is used for the purpose of enhancing existing recordings, I'm all for that. So when they made this announcement of AI on John, I sort of figured, and I'm not saying I'm smarter than everybody else here, but I just kind of figured that they're probably going to use it to clean up the demo so you can hear John's voice. We're talking about the technology Peter Jackson created for Get Back, where it was able to isolate instruments and recognize that's a guitar, that's a voice, and in some cases using this AI system to enhance the dialogue that was blocked by certain instruments. It's technically not new. Sony Home Video has been doing this for a number of years, and they've just gotten better at it too, for their classic movies that they decided to upgrade to a Dolby Atmos fully immersive soundtrack. They have an AI database that was able to take, let's say, a mono mix and separate the tracks to put them in a multi-track environment, so they can then create an Atmos mix that has height information and expanding that soundtrack. There's two movies I recommend. If you have the Columbia Classics Volume 3 box set, From Here to Eternity with Frank Sinatra and Burt Lancaster, the Pearl Harbor attack at the end of the movie just sounds incredible. And also the 4K release of The Guns of Navarone is probably the best Dolby Atmos upmix. And that's because of this AI system that Sony created to isolate certain sounds, and if they were locked in on one track, get them separated to create a full multi-track soundtrack that they could go and mix into Atmos. That's essentially what Peter Jackson's system is. They used it for Revolver, and that is what they're using here. Sean confirmed this in a tweet stating that, no, we're not using AI to recreate my father's voice. What we're doing is using this system that Peter Jackson created to enhance my father's voice from the demo tape and clean the demo tape up so you hear my father's voice a lot clearer. And he had to respond again because somebody said, I don't want to hear fake Beatles. And he responded again, that's not what we're doing. Paul himself had to make a statement about it. And I attribute all of this again to lazy clickbait reporting that's out there. I hate it. It's stupid. The headlines were all Beatles using AI, Beatles using AI. I personally am excited for it. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know how they're going to release it, if it's going to be a single, an EP. I would actually like them to go back and use this technology to enhance Free as a Bird. I know what Jeff Emmerich said at the time, who engineered it, that they were trying to make John's voice sound like it's coming from the ether, and whatever. I think they can make his voice sound a lot clearer through this technology with Free as a Bird. And then there's the other argument, is George on it? What's George doing? George didn't like the song. So why are we releasing something against George's wishes? Well, Olivia and Danny signed off on it as well. And George was originally on the recorded track or whatever they did with it. So, I mean, over the years, when all four Beatles were still alive, John and George hated certain songs that Paul did. I mean, so should Maxwell's Silver Hammer be kept in the vault because George and John didn't like it? Should Hello Goodbye be kept in the vault because John said he didn't like it? After the fact, mind you. All of this was after the fact. So I take a lot of that stuff with a grain of salt. So I personally am excited about it. I'm not jumping for joy, but because it could turn out to be like, an anti-climax. I mean, people are still talking about they want Carnival of Light released. And I really think that if Carnival of Light does get released, it might be the biggest anti-climax of the Beatles' career. Everybody would be excited. They're finally going to hear this 15-minute piece of the Beatles noodling in the recording studio. And they're going to go like, huh? What? It's great that on YouTube, somebody found a way to get Aunt Jessie's Dream out there. The music that's done for the Scene Magical Mystery Tour. So maybe a compilation of, the Beatles avant-garde period with all those extended takes that are in the vault during the period where they were recording the stuff for Magical Mystery Tour and the Yellow Submarine movie. So, but give me some of your thoughts on this. What do you think about it? And, I will talk to you soon.